Alright, this video is not sponsored by Red Bull. I know you guys are going to want to have a look at the original Kraken Vekta 5 tires. Recently, I put on these MAXXiS TREPADOR tires onto my 1/5 scale. This machine is actually huge. A lot of you guys know the size of a Red Bull can. That's just a normal Red Bull right there. So you can see the size of the tires on my Vekta 5 are now enormous. Huge, huge tires. I love the tread pattern on them. Of course, these are modeled and officially licensed over the original MAXXiS tire. I love this machine. This shock right here is actually the size of my forearm. It's enormous, lengthwise. I guess that's what she said. Version 2 of the Bartolone pipe on here, which gives me the clearance I needed with the servo arm, because the other one was quite low, the version 1, and every time I'd go to turn it on or off, I'd always get like a little burn on there. So this is the second version. Beautifully chromed up on a Kraken mod engine, also Bartolone. Check it out, here it is. DDM Mega Torque gear set 17/19-24 for Kraken Vekta 5. So I want to install that today. It's going to be a bit of a job to get it all apart. But you guys are getting an overall view of how large this vehicle is. I'd love these bigger tires outside because we've had a ton of snow this year. But the first thing I'm gonna do is undo. I've never done this before, so I have to muddle my way through. Sorry to all the 5th scale guys that are out there right now. You must be wondering where Everett is. Everett's got some things going on in his personal life right now that are all positive, so he's off doing that. But I definitely wanted to get my gear set into the engine, and I'll just have to pretend that we're making jokes here, right, Ev? I know, that's what I was thinking. He's got a great laugh. And since Everett is always doing the work in the film while I am doing the camera work, this is what the film is going to look a lot like today. Okay, first thing I gotta do, release the exhaust pipe. It's gonna stay attached to the engine, and then I'm gonna release the engine from the chassis itself. Get some wrenches. I think I'm gonna need a 10 and an 11. Here's a 10. I just wanna test the 10 first. Pretty sure that's it. A 10 will do. Okay, the 9 does not work. We'll just use the other 10. So I've taken the last few days off because I've been actually stuck on gaming. Been playing a lot of Xbox lately. And making sure, you know, my radio control hand is up to par. Keeping it all strong by playing games. What have I been playing? Mostly Resident Evil and a game called The Hunter, which is a hunting simulation game. It's pretty awesome. Okay, this will be a little bit of a tricky shot just because I gotta be careful of the engine here, but because there are 4 screws, I don't have to worry as much. Oh, wrong bit. Using my shorter killer RC bits here. Make sure I don't drop it. Okay, I still have 2 bolts holding the entire engine on. Everything has Loctite on it. Red Loctite too. Come on now. There's some reality RCing right there. Okay, then I'm gonna release the gas lines. Black on the bottom. Yellow fuel tubing on top of the carburetor. For those that have never seen a big gas power engine like this, yes, it is similar to a weed eater engine or a chainsaw engine. This is the primer bulb right here, the low and the high setting needles, and of course the idle needle right here. Here is the air filter where it comes in down the stack and or through the stack here and into the engine. Spark plug on top, super simple. The fuel line actually comes in behind the bulb through this yellow tubing, and of course then the pressure through the black tube to the return. That off of there. Normally what I like to do is to take a small screw, one that's thick enough to sit in there, and to actually kind of gap it off, because you can have fuel. If you have any fuel in your tubing, you can have it pouring out, and of course you don't want any gas all over the table in the truck. Just threading it in, simple. In behind the exhaust pipe. People always ask me how I get so many different shots if it's just me filming, and the answer is pretty simple. You just stop the camera and, you know, move it around. Okay, I'm using a number 9 to hold the bracket in place. Turns out I did not need to remove the bracket from the gas tank on this back piece because it had to come out anyway, but that's how I learn, right? Trial and error, find out the best way. Okay, with the gas tank out of the way, you can see the brake disc right here with the drive shaft, how it attaches. My goal is to remove this engine right here. So I'm gonna release this bolt, and that one down here. There are only 3 mounting holes or screws that I can see here. And then I've got my kill switch on the inside. Inside my battery box, I'm just undoing my kill switch cable. Get it out, and awesome. So there is basically the heart of the machine right there. Now I have the opportunity to get in there and clean it up really well. For those that are not familiar with how these work, here is the clutch spring and the clutch shoes on the outside. I'll be able to blow these out. I might even want to get a different type of clutch, but I'll check into that. But yeah, there you go. Pretty cool, huh? So what you're looking at now, this is the clutch bell. This is actually where those shoes expand and touch against this whole end bell right here. And this is actually what spins the entire drive line, right? It moves back and forward. All right, so there are 4 screws. 1, 2, and then 3, 4. I've already taken out 3 and 4 right here. I can't get to the set screw for this drive shaft except for near the back axle. So I'm going to release this drive shaft and try to get it off that output drive. What about with a little coaxing of a flathead screwdriver? Oh yeah, there we go. Excuse me, sir, your drive shaft is showing. Just so I can get this arm free. What's the best way to do this? Well, I don't even need to do that actually. Now that it's separated, I can get at the pinion and I can get at the gear I need. So this, if I would have taken this apart any further, that would have been unnecessary. I don't see an Allen key in there, grub screw, set screw on the pinion. All right, sometimes when I'm struggling to figure things out, what I'll do is actually look at the new part. So here is the pinion that I'm trying to remove right now. Okay, and so as you can see, if you can, there is a flat piece to this pin that comes out. So this pin must somehow spin to get that out. But how the heck do I hold it so I can turn that to get out? So many of you are cringing right now, but I do not have a proper pinion tool. And this thing was put together at the factory with a ton of Loctite on this pin. So I'm using my my channel locks to get a good grip on that pinion without trying to let it slip. Ta-da-da-da-da-da! Wow, the Loctite is literally oozing out of this thing. There is a lock washer on there as well, so no wonder it was difficult to get out. But as you can see, all the teeth to the pinion are 100% fine. It's a little wobbly just because the bearing's not sitting there right, but now I get to figure out how to separate all this. Look at how much Loctite is in there. That is amazing. No wonder I could barely budget, but at least it was in there nice and safe and no issues. Now, I could go at this all day and really kind of damage this bearing, but why? Because they came out perfectly. If I ever wanted to put that one back in, I could. Just grab a new bearing, slide it inside the race on an even way like that. Make sure it fits, perfect, and replace. Here's the secondary gearing. It just pops in. Here's the new one right here. I'm going to replace that out for the new pinion to ride on. Making sure that my drive shafts are lined up properly and that center diff. Center diff visually looking fine at the moment. Okay, I only used a hint of red Loctite on the other side. Same with this side. I'd rather have a lost set screw or lost grub screw than have to drill out the drive shaft because it was stuck. Now granted, I could heat up the red Loctite, but that's not always a guarantee because you normally do that after you've already rounded out one of the heads on there, so heads up. Gives you an idea how big this truck really is. You see me standing behind it. You need a bit of muscle to work on a rig like this because, you know, upwards of 50 pounds, that's for sure. Okay, I've blown out the clutch shoes, made sure all the inside is clean of dust. As clean as I can for a dusty truck. It is what it is. So here is one of the older engine mount screws. You can see all the Loctite and everything is still in there. And if it was red Loctite, I could use some heat to burn it off or simply use this wire brush to get into all the threads, clean it out. So when I go to remount these screws, it's nice and smooth and I can apply some new red Loctite to it. Everett would be so proud. And I just realized one of the screws I was showing you how to clean had to go in before I put the gas tank back in. And see, told you I make mistakes all the time. And if Everett was here, he would say, yep, he does all the time. Okay, so before the gas tank goes on, make sure you've done up the center mount screw. Now, I'm not going to over tighten this first one. I'm going to basically get it down to right where I get to cinch it in. And then I'm going to screw in the other ones and basically approach this just like I was tightening the lugs on a tire. Alright, so I was going to start this big pig up for you, but if it isn't one thing, it's another. I've noticed with these Servos waterproof servos, they burn up and they're fairly unreliable. For me, that's been my experience with them. Like, for example, I'm using a Futaba system, so not a lot of interference. Yes, it works, but look at jiggle, see, and it kind of, and so what that's doing is because this is my throttle and brake, that jitter in the servo itself is actually causing me an issue, of course, with the engine. That's not controlling the gas properly. So what I'm going to do is replace this one with a normal Servo servo, pull it out. Hopefully I'll have better luck with this one. I have to do the same thing with the steering servo, because after sitting here noticing when I plug the steering servo in, it also goes just to one side. This one I can control, the steering servo I can't. Just going to remove the battery tray so I can get to the steering servo easier. Just like that. Steering servo can slide out. So much work to get a day of fun in, but I gotta tell you guys, it is absolutely worth it when everything comes together and works well. Hence why it's a hobby. Now I'm pretty sure with these giant tires, I'm going to need a dual servo going on in here. I think the single servo may not be enough power to turn these giant tires, but time will tell. The original Vekta 5 did so much better, like with the original tires on there, with a dual servo mount as well. Oh, that's close. Now, you all think you're gonna get a running video, but not today. I got a lot of tuning to do. Yes, I hope I still get a thumbs up from you guys and all that pandering that I'm supposed to do here on YouTube. Comment down below, what do you think of the bigger tires? What do you think of the Vekta 5 now? Mark of a good storyteller is to get you guys to come back, so make sure to subscribe, click the notification bell, and you guys will be able to see these TREPADORS ripping it up. I gotta do some tuning. I'm 3,400 feet above sea level. What can I say? And it's winter. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye.